This is my partner, adventure cameraman Lee Green. Here he is learning about the ancient Japanese science of aikidō. I'm pitch hitting for Lee, as he gave me the story by overseas telephone, because at this moment he's on assignment in Quemoy. With him in Tokyo was his companion and friend, Herman Jensen. Here's Lee's story as he would tell it to you himself. My friend and partner, adventure cameraman Lee Green. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and the start of a busy day for Herman and me in Tokyo. I want to look into aikidō and see if there's an adventure show for us. And at 10 o'clock, we're scheduled to film the grand opening of the new television tower. This is a 70 yen cab, which means that you ride a mile and a third for the equivalent of about 18 cents. And incidentally, you don't tip in Japan. You really get a ride for your money. There are 3 classes of cabs in Tokyo. The 60 yen, which seem to be piloted by stunt drivers, the 70 yen by racing car drivers, and the few 80 yen cabs by surviving and retired members of the first 2 groups. Jaywalkers in Tokyo live dangerously, but the less agile obey the traffic signals. Face masks are a common sight all over Japan. If you have a cold, you wear one. In spite of my tight schedule, I enjoy the ride. And soon we're watching activity of another sort. This is the exercise room of the aikidō school. The young men in white shirts and black pantaloons are instructors. The other boys are students. To Herman and me, this looks like a cross between jiu-jitsu and tumbling. The instructors handle themselves extremely well. But I wonder how they'd do if this were a rough and tumble instead of an exercise. Now watch these two. Everything happens too darn easily. I'm sure the fellow doing the falling is cooperating with the man doing the throwing. It's interesting enough to watch, but I don't think it's adventurous enough for my series. Besides, I've got a date with the tower. On the way, I steal one shot of the entrance to Meiji Park. And here's our 60 yen cab arriving at the new TV tower. The tower has a 5-story building at its base, an observation platform about 650 feet up, and the top of its antenna is 1,150 feet above the street, 50 feet higher than the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Herman and I get our press passes, and the dedication begins with a religious ceremony. This ceremony has a particular significance today, as the dedication of the tower is taking place on the birthday of the well-loved Crown Prince of Japan. They seem to have learned their lesson from Hollywood, all right. Miss TV of 1959 cuts the ribbon, flashbulbs go off, and tomorrow all Japan will be barraged with publicity about this great event. And it is a great event. The tower is a cooperative enterprise with 2 commercial television stations and 1 educational television station sharing the facilities. Our press passes give us permission to photograph Tokyo from the catwalk. And what a sight it is. From this tower, giant cameras will be able to bring all of Tokyo in close-up to television viewers within 100 miles. Baseball games at Tokyo Stadium, 8 miles away, can be photographed from here and brought into close-up range. Traffic tie-ups or special events within a 20-mile radius can be televised from cameras located on this tower. Back in the observation platform, our camera is hard at work. This is downtown Tokyo, looking toward the bay. Herman and I are having a wonderful time. But I've got to get my pictures back to the States. So down we go. 8 million people in Tokyo, and I think 7 million of them are here today. Herman and I have worked crowds before, and we agreed if we got separated to meet at the newsstand at the foot of the tower. When I find him there, he's browsing in a book about aikidō. If the pictures tell the story that I think they do, we missed the whole point of aikidō this morning. We missed meeting Mr. Ueshiba. The book cost 300 yen, almost $1. But it proved to be my passport to a real adventure. On its threshold was Mr. Ueshiba, the patriarch of aikidō. This science was founded by Yoshimitsu Minamoto in the year 1120 and was handed down in his family for generations. It was taken over then by the Takeda family. And here is a legitimate successor of the art, Mr. Morihei Ueshiba.
What year was Aikido founded?
I study this frail old man and think how he must miss the strength and vigor of his youth.
About 50 years ago.
Mr. Tohei, I wonder if we might, without offending Mr. Ueshiba, inquire as to how old he is.
At this time, is 80 years old.
Wonder if you could inquire of Mr. Ueshiba how many students he has trained.
As he talks, I realize that Aikido is more than an exercise, a sport. It is a religion, a way of life.
About 100,000.
It's my understanding that in the instruction of training of Aikido, it is not just a physical routine or a sport or a means of defense, but a training of the mind.
That's right.
Ask him if he would briefly tell me about the circle over there.
Yes. Teacher said, every circle has a center. And if has not a center, cannot make circle. Immediately. これは世界の科学現象の中に
As Mr. Ueshiba explains the circle to me, I realize that he is explaining a philosophy that is equally true for the East and the West. That truth and moral principle have neither beginning nor end, and always retain their position in the center of man's life.
それはちょうどキリストさんの出た何にもその言葉の中にも初めに言葉がありっていうこの一文と同じでこの世の初めは何にもないとは大国王よりかなかったその大国王っていうのも俺に力を言うと想像のものです。
I wonder if at this time you could ask Mr. Ueshiba to give us the word or a demonstration of his action during the time so that we can get the sound of the word for aikidō.
で、キリスト教でもバイブルにこれが初めにあったと。aikidōも先生とおっしゃってるとはそうなってますけど、発声法ですから、それは先生に実際にやっていただきたいと。じゃあ、今からやります。一番これを言霊という。言霊というものが体内においてこの自己の体の中の赤い血の谷の姿がこれ。それをやるにはまず雨の吹き橋に立ったんです。雨の吹き橋に立っても座っとってもできますから、そのつもりです。こうしてまず
The symbolism is the same too. The cross that Mr. Ueshiba makes demonstrates the oneness of the earth, east, west, north, south. Man, created in the image of God, should make a shrine of his body, and by doing so, absorb within his soul the truths of the universe. Mr. Ueshiba demonstrates how man's mind can control his body by this long, sustained note. We go back to the exercise room, but this time we go back under the guidance of a great artist, a great teacher. We salute the participants in the exercises. Mr. Ueshiba explains to me that there are 2,664 separate techniques in aikidō, and that aikidō is based on the art of gentleness, of having your enemy use his own power and physical violence to overcome himself. Aikidō means making your spirit fit in with your opponent's, bringing your movements into accord with his. Aikidō is the application of the principle of gentleness. As I watch the exercises, I see that it is always the attacker who is thrown. I see that the instructors are gentle in their demonstrations and use only the amount of skill necessary to upset their opponents. It is, as I thought earlier, an application of skill and knowledge, and this is the reason it looks easy. Aikidō is a sport of the mind as well as the body. And I'm going to see if Mr. Ueshiba will accept Herman and me as students. Mr. Ueshiba agrees to accept us as students, and our training begins the next morning. We salute our teacher, and as students have done for centuries, sit at his feet to learn. We begin with meditation and a prayer that we shall use our newfound wisdom and strength wisely. Aikidō involves total control of every muscle and thought. These exercises loosen our muscles and prepare us mentally for the lessons to come. Many days of such simple exercises as these are needed before you're introduced to the simplest of the aikidō techniques. These exercises, with their undercurrent of religious significance, under the watchful eye of Mr. Ueshiba, make me realize that there is a relationship between the mind, the soul, and the body, and that the mysticism underlying aikidō does serve a useful purpose. Herman and I have been studying 7 hours a day for the past 10 days, and now it is time for us to begin our training in the techniques. This is known as training in kata, or form. I am told to attack my instructor. He uses an application of the forearm turn. Although I outweigh him by 50 pounds, I find myself on the mat, thrown without force. Now it's my turn, and I enjoy it. But it doesn't last for long. This time, it's a reverse handhold that upsets my apple cart. He shows me how easily this is done, and what an important part balance plays in the whole operation. If someone grabs your wrists, you'll know what to do. I start him one way, and then being off balance, down he goes. I suggest you don't practice any of this at home without an instructor. Too forceful an application of pressures will snap an arm, a wrist, or a leg. He makes it look so easy, too. Herman is still skeptical about aikidō in a rough and tumble. His instructor agrees to operate on the principle of gentleness. Weighing 126 pounds to Herman's 190. This could be fun. Somehow or other, Herman can't get his hands on him. And down he goes. In spite of the weight advantage and the disinclination of the instructor to use the more deadly techniques, Herman can't handle him. Notice the perfect balance of the instructor and how he forces Herman always to be the aggressor. Now he decides the time has come to exercise control, and he does. Herman is totally helpless, held there by the pressures of a single thumb. Herman is convinced. Mr. Ueshiba has graciously consented to show us some of the fine points of aikidō. He asks that this stick be used only for his protection and not to injure anyone. These are the more advanced exercises, and I doubt very much that I will ever learn them. Now he salutes his instructors and prepares for the demonstration. And what a demonstration it is. Now, 2. This is what I call balance. Now the stick. This is our frail old man. His strength is truly as the strength of 10. Mr. Ueshiba does me the honor of climaxing my apprenticeship in Aikido by demonstrating his technique with me. This is the master at work, and I wish Herman weren't enjoying it quite so much. I'm sure that the training I'm getting here will someday come in handy on another Rendezvous with Adventure.